How's it going, everybody? Appreciate you for tuning in. I want to take a look at the college football playoff system, the bowl setup, because I do think some instances both could use a bit of a refresher. Now, the bowl season actually started this past weekend. There was a couple of bowl games. One was basically like the HBCU kind of national championship type. The Celebration Bowl, South Carolina State, Prairie View A&M. The other game was Boise State, Washington. Now, two questions for those of you listening. One, did you know the bowl season started? And then two, did you watch either of those games? I would love to know. Because I do think because of the way bowl season is marketed, it's marketed basically around the college football playoff. Like you might get like a quick little ad saying bowl season from December 13th to so-and-so. But they don't necessarily promote games. But college football playoff, they go deep into promoting. And I get that because when it comes to the playoff, they're promoting games that have something on the line because you're playing for a national championship. So I think that's where bowl season has now been funneled to, is strictly playoff, nothing but the playoff, that's it. I think that is part of a problem. So I do have something that might seem out of the box to fix the playoff and bowl season. The playoff, because of this season, all the controversy around Notre Dame not being in, Tulane and James Madison getting in, everybody looking at those two teams and saying, well, I get that the current structure, you give a group of 5 team a chance, but now you have 2 in there because, obviously the ACC champion didn't get in, open up another slot. It's seen as 2 teams who really have, I can't say 0% chance, I guess, but let's say 0.01% chance to win the first game, much less win a national title. So I think, at least for me, I wonder if the average college football fan likes that and wouldn't rather see just power conference teams in the playoff. So let's tackle that first. So my plan, which I will say got a little bit from Vandy, who talked about playing games. So I'm incorporating that. I'm expanding the playoff to 14 teams with the final 4, well, the first 4, I guess you'll say, playing to be the final 2 teams in the 12-team bracket. So I just used the example of the teams currently as they're ranked. So you would get BYU, Texas, Notre Dame, Vandy face off against each other. BYU, Texas would face off for the chance to play Oregon. Notre Dame and Vandy would face off for the chance to play Ole Miss. Now you can mess with the matches as you want for who they actually get to play, but that's what I'm using for this example. Then you get the other matchups: Oklahoma, Bama, obviously, A&M, Miami. So that part, stay the same. Keep the games in the higher ranked teams' field. Great. Then you go along the rest of the way. So the 12-team playoff becomes 14. No Tulane, no James Madison. They'll be replaced by either BYU, Texas, or Notre Dame, Vandy. Strictly big schools. Now, if you are a fan of Tulane and James Madison getting in, you're probably saying to yourself now, why is that system any better? Because now it's just the rich are getting richer and being rewarded with the college football playoff. And I got you. So my proposal is take a page from college basketball where you have the NCAA tournament and then you have the NIT. Also, you have like CIT, CBI, all that. But I'm just looking at NCAA and the NIT. Create a NIT-like tournament for teams that don't make the playoff. So if you do that, you're now looking at group of 5 teams, because usually the highest ranked group of 5 team is in like the late teens, mid 20 ranked area in the ranking. So they would qualify for this. So I used this and I gave the top 2 seeds to Tulane, James Madison. Just as an example, obviously doesn't play out that way, but they would get in this tournament. Also, teams like Duke would get in, Houston, Georgia Tech, Arizona, Missouri, Iowa, USC, New Mexico, Virginia, North Texas, Michigan, Navy, Tennessee, Utah. So I did a 16-team playoff for the other teams. And look, you could take both playoff and give them, I don't know, like historical coaches' names, like the college football playoff, you call it the Bear Bryant playoff or something. The secondary one, call it the, I don't know, Bo Schembechler or something. I don't know. Choose whatever you want. It would use kind of the same model. First round games would be higher ranked teams' stadium. Then from there on out, you're taking some of the bowl games, which I think in this case, a lot of the teams that are involved in this are in the bowl games that I'm stealing for the playoff. So I used the Liberty Bowl, Music City, the Citrus Bowl, the Sun Bowl, Gator Bowl, Alamo Bowl, and I believe another one for like the national championship if you want to use one. And that's kind of the system I've set up. So you're using about 14 bowl games where there's, I think, like 40 anyway. So you still have some bowl games that aren't affiliated with either, but that's not like your whole schedule that people are waiting for the playoff to start. You work in the secondary tournament into the bowl season. That now brings more attention to the bowl season because now you have a set of teams within that are playing for a secondary title. I don't know how realistic this system is. I couldn't tell you. I'm sure if it was proposed, you'd have, fans up in arms saying, oh, no, that's watering down something. I don't know. But you'd have to tell me if you agree with me. I think it would make college football's playoff season more interesting. So like I said, you would still have, Xbox Bowl and stuff like that, Missouri State, Arkansas State, or, the Veterans Bowl, Troy, Jacksonville State. Like, you'd still have those kind of worked around these teams. And obviously, I just use those teams, maybe you'd have Penn State and Clemson or something in whatever. I don't know. But that's my idea for college football. Let me know if you agree with it. I even kicked around the idea of you take the 4 teams in the play-in in the major tournament, the 2 that advance go into that 12, the 2 that lose go into this minor championship playoff. I'd be open to that as well. I don't know if those schools that lose would necessarily want to because of scheduling or whatever. I don't know. Like I said, there's ways to kind of manipulate this. I mean, I kicked around expanding them even more, but I'm leaving it as 14 for the college football playoff, 16 for this tournament. So that's 30 teams. I think in the bowl season you get it's like 80 teams or something. I don't know. I don't really know the number, but it's more than what I've used up. So let's see. Well, it's 36 bowls, so I used 14. That still leaves 22 bowl games for other schools that don't make either one, where I think those will be the schools that they make a bowl game. It's a big deal for them. Their fans will watch. Cool. So, I don't know. You let me know if you think this is a good idea. I think it'd be interesting. But, yeah. And so I will say that tomorrow should be doing an episode on Week 15 in the NFL, some of the storylines, some of the matchups and everything, and kind of the aftermath in terms of the playoff picture. So you can look for that. Appreciate you tuning in. I do. If you do listen to this, would greatly appreciate it if you would give me a like, leave a comment, share it out, all that good stuff would really help. Made the switch to kind of the audio format. Actually have fun doing it this way and kicking around some ideas of what to do with this. I've seen that there's a way to do like live streaming with audio, which I guess would bring some of you in, where you could like request up and kind of do like a sports radio type thing with it. I've kicked that around, but need to get some feedback from you all if you would enjoy that. So if anything else, you leave a comment, let me know. Would you like to see me do kind of like a live audio sports radio type thing? Even if it's like a play-by-play, which I'm not going to lie, as a kid, that was like a dream of mine, to be like a play-by-play guy on the radio. So just leave a comment, let me know if you like the content. So, yeah. Appreciate you for tuning in. Hopefully enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll talk to you later. All right? Bye.